This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Come on. Why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity with Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance that keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com. Lenovo. Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
I've never felt like this before. It's like you just get me. I feel like my true self with you. Does that sound crazy? And it doesn't hurt that you're gorgeous. Okay, that's it. I'm taking you home with me. I mean, you can't find shoes this good just anywhere. Find a shoe for every you from brands you love, like Birkenstock, Nike, Adidas, and more at your DSW store or DSW.com.
Fan.
Bonus Box is back on KFAN starting next week. We'll have 9 chances for you to win $1,000 every weekday. That's every hour from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. To learn more, head to KFAN.com. Bonus Box is presented by BigDeck.com.
Lavelle E Neal III in studio. Longtime guest, 9 to noon. Hanging out with me, Nordo, in for PA on a Thursday, some vocal maintenance.
You got to get someone from maintenance to put a pad around this post on this table.
Well, I was going to ask you, I think an easy way, a comparison, an either or in some ways. Which feels worse right now? The hardcore Twins fan who's trying to find reasons to stay in love with their favorite baseball team, or your knee at this particular moment after you just crushed that post on our in-studio table and nearly collapsed. Are you okay?
I'm fine. That's just I came out of yesterday's charity golf event with a little tendonitis in the same knee and hit my knee hit this post right on the hot spot, and now it's just not cooperating. No, even so, Twins fans are the ones who are probably suffering more. I have to go meet some people this afternoon, and they're already warned me that they're going to hammer away with Twins questions, complaints, and things. So when they get pitching, they don't hit. When they hit, they don't get to pitching. And someone's getting hit with a pitch like every third game. It's just diseased right now for that squad. They need to win in the worst way. Ober, was upset yesterday because they put the tarp on the field in the 6th inning, right when he had retired with 8 out of 9 and found a rhythm. And this is a rhythm he's been searching for the last month or so, last 6 weeks?
Exactly.
After giving up 4 runs early, he was able to settle in and sack some outs, and he looked more like the Ober of old. So that got derailed. So now, in about, 20 minutes from now, it's the first pitch of the getaway day in Cincinnati. The Twins desperately need a win, like they need air to breathe. I think they've lost a bunch of their games by 2-1 run. I was in Houston last weekend. It was my brother's birthday trip. We go on a Twins road trip every June because that's his birthday month. And so,
that's sweet.
We're actually in Houston on Friday, which was his actual birthday. So we watched the debacle that Chris Paddock had to wear because they had given up 16 runs in 2 out of the 3 previous games. So when they fell behind early on Friday, Paddock had to eat some innings and take a bigger L than he should have because the bullpen was worn out. And then we saw the terrific pitching matchup between Joe Ryan and Hunter Brown on Saturday. I had a conversation with a Twins official, and this is something interesting I have to look into deeper. He was talking about, well, this hasn't been reported by you media yet. That's how he prefaces it. But there's a new trend in pitching now. Hunter Brown is the epitome of it. He's a right-handed hitter, a pitcher. So he pitches east-west to the right-handed hitters and north-south to the lefties. So I was watching the outing, and he did throw some knuckle curves to right-handed hitters, but he threw a lot to Wallner and Larnach and the lefties. And so apparently that's a thing now in baseball. So if you're a lefty, you're throwing east-west to your left-handed hitters and throwing north-south to...
So you're bringing it inside on the lefties.
Right.
And up-down to the right-handed hitters.
So
I wonder what the science is or the numbers and the analytics are behind that.
It's just another pursuit of trying to find an edge in this game, man.
Yeah.
And it may just be a fad or a trend until a hitter makes some sort of adjustment to combat it or whatever. So,
well, I was talking.
I'm curious how that helped. Well, I guess if you're a switch hitter, then he has to go up and down on you, I guess, instead of east-west. So, that's something I'm going to be watching here in the next few days, next several weeks, just to see how it plays out. Well, and then Saturday's game. No, we didn't see Sunday's game. That was the other debacle, which they were leading 1-0.
Yeah.
Simeon Woods Richardson's cruising. And then with the off day on Monday, Rocco said, I can use my bullpen at this point. I don't need Simeon to face the order for the third time, which drives me up the wall. I think sometimes these guys have to learn how to do this stuff. 53 pitches through 5 innings. You can give him a sixth inning.
Yes, you can.
Keep your bullpen out of it. Because sometimes you end up playing reliever roulette. You start firing bullets out of that bullpen, and one of them's going to strike you in the forehead. You know?
Absolutely, yeah.
And on Sunday, it was Duran in the ninth, unfortunately. Came in for the save. They tied the game and won. And so it was a disease weekend in Houston. Other than wonderful temperatures, a vibrant downtown with bars and restaurants humming.
Houston's fun.
Cigar-friendly smoking patios, which I was a fan of on Main Street. And great food. Had some Cajun on Friday after we landed and went to a Tex-Mex for some great barbecue. I'd never had Wagyu ribs. I didn't know that was a possibility on the menu. This place had Wagyu ribs, and it was awesome.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Other than that, from the social aspect of it, it was a great trip.
I've never been to Houston, but I have heard that it's an elite food town. That it is an absolutely fantastic spot to feast at.
I just liked it because downtown was busy, bustling, and people walking around like not acting like jackasses. It was great.
Well, that's all positives. You know, you're mentioning the pitch counts, and you're mentioning kind of the innovation in the game. Yep. Here's what we do against lefties. Here's what we do against righties. Mm-hmm. I was talking to somebody last week, Bonus, about it actually, and kind of the idea that. And maybe the Twins can't be the only team that's pondering this, but it goes back to the age old, whether it's you use the opener, it's a bullpen bit type of game, et cetera. But the idea of even maybe shortening the rotation and playing more with fewer innings and almost becoming more specialized. It takes a village with the pitching staff. And I was thinking as it relates to the Twins, that might become a necessity out of injury. But it does feel like because if you're a team and I got $300 million to give Garrett Cole, or you're talking about Houston, right? Verlander. Mm-hmm. Verlander's made a career of eating innings and being fantastic, is almost as good at late in games as he is early in games. Mm-hmm. He's a Hall of Famer. Well, these guys are unicorns these days. And so the idea of at some point there being an actual philosophical shift where I'm not even trying to go with 5 guys anymore. I'm going to run a 4-man rotation, and instead of 6, I'm going, it's 5 and fly all the time, and putting more pressure maybe or continuing down the road of specializing. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't see how that's sustainable because the way managers handle bullpens in today's game, they're going to the bullpen in the 5th inning.
Yeah.
And if you're going to have one of those 5 spots be a bullpen game, and the 2 games before that, you need to use 4 or 5 relievers. Well, what bullets are you going to have to fire out for the bullpen game? We're seeing a few more teams. I'm not saying this become the rage, but you're seeing a couple teams. I'm sure the Dodgers are going to be one of them. They're going to be using 6-man rotations. They're going the other way, So I don't know if that's going to catch fire. I will say this, since you brought it up. I did talk to someone with the organization within the last handful of days. And because I asked him, what are your options now that, Zebby's out and Pablo's out until probably September? He says, well, our next step would be Andrew Morris, who has not made a major league debut, and he's not pitched as well as he did coming out of the chute. He looked really good first 3-4 starts of the year. He has not been as sharp. And then he said the two words that you just brought up, bullpen game, would be the other option. So the Twins aren't that far away from bullpen game, folks, and that's out of necessity, not trying to be tricky or trying to be innovative. It's because their depth has been used up here. So it's unfortunate.
So the other day I texted you this morning because I wanted to verify that what I had been reading was true. That you were live posting a St. Paul Saints game the other night. So you were enjoying some festivities over in St. Paul. And the way I kind of framed it up to you and the way I was talking about it earlier today is you kind of feel right now with his injury situation. You mentioned Zeb. He just gets his first win and then he's out. And then you got Pablo with the shoulder bit. And now we're wondering about Ober. Ober's going to give up 4. And then just when he's finding his stride, the raindrops ruin everything. Is there help on the way?
Pitching wise, I don't see it. The game I was there to do a column on Aaron Sabato, which posted last night on StarTribune.com, and I believe it's in today's newspaper. So he's a former first-round pick who kind of spent 3.5 years at Wichita trying to get his bleep together, and finally has by swinging at more strikes. What a concept, Carlos Correa. Swinging more strikes, and you give yourself a better chance of hitting.
Yeah.
And I watched him, have 100 miles an hour exit velocity off the bat on Tuesday, so that's a strong kid, but he's going to have to prove it.
Aaron Sabato?
Yes. Out of North Carolina. He went to North Carolina for college. So, but it also gave me a chance to kind of check out what was going on with the rest of the squad.
Is he related to Antonio Sabato Jr.?
I don't think he is.
The B-movie action
No, I don't think he
actor?
is.
Okay. Just curious.
So, Marco Reyes started. He got hit hard early. He hit a batter. He fell behind hitters. He's raw. He's young. And there's one person I talked to there who thought he's destined to be a reliever. So, when he left, I think after 4 innings, our old friend Randy Dobnak, he's letting his hair go. His hair is gone. He's just letting it go. See how long he can get right now.
Well, he started driving for Lyft, and they have different grooming standards.
Yeah. So Dobnak came in for a couple innings, and so they went haywire from there. Focused on Julian and Miranda, 2 guys who were with the Twins at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Miranda, not impressed at the plate right now. I didn't see any hard contact. There was also a play early in the game. There was a bouncing ball down the third baseline. I thought he thought that was going to go foul, but it stayed fair.
Oh.
So he took an L on that one.
Phil Cuzzy, though.
Julian hit a 2-run homer in his first at bat Tuesday, and I saw that he homered again yesterday, a 3-run jack. He's up to 250, I want to say. And so, but they were still, because I talked to Toby Gardenhire before the game, and Toby's like, we're still trying to get him back to 2 years ago when he was hitting those fastballs in the zone, because that's when we were like, okay, this guy could be a guy.
Yeah.
So they're slowly been getting him back to that. It looks like he's having some more success. So that was kind of encouraging to see. And McCusker's McCusker. I think he doubled Tuesday. He homered yesterday, but I didn't have any moments where I said that kid needs to be in the majors now. I did not.
Yeah. The thing, so doing vocal maintenance days and such, having twins centric guests on. Baldelli's just drawing the ire of the Twins fans again. And I don't know if it's just going to be, if it's a hands up, what are you going to do? We're talking about injuries here. It feels like a per usual situation. Royce Lewis and this, the soft tissue stuff that persists. Correa, by the way, I think he's healthy. A little back maintenance here and there, but can we hit it all, Mr. Correa, as you referenced a couple minutes ago?
Mr. $35 million, Carlos Correa.
How much is Baldelli taking heat right now in mass in terms of what's happening? Because again, you're painting a picture for me, Lavelle, where that green line's coming from St. Paul and there's nobody on it. And the issues that we're having with the big club, again, what are the answers? And there don't appear to be some. So in lieu of those, we're going after Baldelli.
Yeah, before they got in that 13-game winning streak, I think the Twins were home against the White Sox, and there was some negative atmosphere going on in that clubhouse. And, there were a couple of folks who were like, Rocco needs to win a couple of games, like right now, or. It was like or. I don't think his seat was hot. It was maybe the knob had just got turned on and the burner had not heated up yet.
Sure.
But so it wasn't on full-fledged in flames. But then it got hot, and so, this one here, you can look to a number of things, though. The pitching injuries. Buxton, thank heavens he wasn't hurt. He was out longer than.
With the hit by pitch.
Exactly. Yeah. And he's homered now in 3 straight games or something like that?
Yeah, did
3 of the last
yesterday.
4?
Yeah.
So that's fortunate. They got to get some guys hitting. Correa's killing them. Is Rocco to blame for that? Usually, when I get complaints from fans, it's the same thing that I've heard fans from all over the country complain about their managers. 1, the batting order. 2, pitching moves. Now, I'm on board with when Rocco stopped doing this. I was mad last year whenever they would bring in the opponents would bring in a lefty like in the 2nd or 3rd inning. Rocco immediately started pinch hitting. He ruined Manuel Margot because Margot couldn't get a hit against a lefty reliever. He was like 0 for 21 or something last year. Oh,
ridiculous!
Manuel Margot was on the bench for Toledo Tuesday against the Saints.
Really?
Yes, yes. So
unbelievable.
I know. Can't give it up. So. In the end, when the team goes haywire, it depends on what the expectations were. Were the Twins expected to win the division? I don't think the fan base really expected that from them coming off of last year. Here's the thing. I haven't checked the standings today. Yesterday, the Twins are still just 1 game out of a wild card spot. I was talking to somebody about that, too. In the American League, there were only 3 teams that were more than 2.5 games out of a wild card spot because we were talking about deadline moves and making trades and who are buyers and who are sellers. And the person I talked to pointed out, that 12 teams in the American League are either in or close to a playoff spot.
Right.
So who's going to supply them with the upgrades at the trade deadline? We have 12, So that made it, that was a pretty good point there. So,
well, no, it's insane right now because the Rays, Jays, and Guardians are locked in. And then technically the Red Sox are tied with the Guardians for that 3rd spot. And then there are 5 more teams within 2 games.
Yeah.
So, but who's fool's gold? Fool's gold at this time of year? Because without Pablo, man, and if, and you can feel for Ober in a spot, but the bats aren't going to pick him up. You lose 4-2 as he was catching his rhythm. So in a vacuum, you look at moments like that. Every game counts, of course, despite there being a million of them. But you start, you're hoping that you're in a spot where Pablo coming back matters, and when you drop, you're right, you might be a game out of a wild card spot, but you're, double digits out of the division at this particular point. And there are some worrisome things starting to stack up, and you still got a lot of games before that trade deadline.
Yeah, you do. And the thing is, too, there's going to be a bunch of teams looking for pitching. I don't know, you want the Twins to have a pitcher or a hitter? 3 weeks ago, I wanted them to add a bat.
Yeah. And now they maybe need both.
Maybe they could. But what type of pitcher would you consider an upgrade? Like a veteran guy that come in and slide in as your number 4 guy? Technically that should be Chris Paddock's role, to be honest with you.
Haven't they been a little bit hesitant to make that kind of move at the deadline anyway?
They have. And we don't know how much they're willing to add to the payroll. And that's the other thing. So when you ask me about should Rocco have the hot seat under him, I think about the roster he's been given and how the roster's been funded. And where does that start at? That starts at ownership, and we're back to this, and it's crazy. We got the LA Lakers selling for $10 billion and the Twins can't find someone for 1.7.
Well, do you feel, how about that, by the way? That fat number that Jeannie Buss just got out of that team, that's insane.
Think about it. Jerry Buss in 1979 bought the Lakers, the Kings, and the LA Forum from Jack Kent Cooke for about $67 million. So the return is $9.325 billion on all that. And he probably spun up the Kings since then. And I don't know what he did with the Forum. I don't know if the Forum is still erect, at this point.
I think the Forum's gone because the Hollywood, we're talking about the Hollywood Forum, right?
Right.
That was right next to where SoFi is now in the Rams play.
Is that where it was?
I think that's accurate. I think the Forum's gone now, but I'm not completely sure. But speaking of arenas, I think I read this. I'm just going to throw this out there, and if I'm wrong, I'm going to Google search it during the break. $10 billion. The guy doesn't even own, I don't think he owns that arena.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, and the resources with this thing moving forward, it's massive. It's going to be a precedent. Glenn Taylor's taking an L because he wish he would have waited until this type of thing was done. Maybe he could have squeezed 2 and change out of the Timberwolves. But this is an insane deal that's taking place. I don't think he owns the arena, though. So kind of a weird spot there. Do you feel, Lavelle, talking about ownership, talking about this kind of stuff, that with the baseball team, covered it a long time, I just watched, as you're in studio with me, you're rattling off clearly still the high end excitement and, the pleasure that you took at CHS, writing this story on Sabato, but also just seeing who's who in the ranks of this Twins organization. But do you ever feel like you also have like a computer program in your head with ownership related questions? Having trouble trying to figure out the debt situation, Polad's this, pocket protectors that, noon to 3, injury situation, big 3 underperforming, pitching situation, probably going to be underwhelming at the deadline. Do you feel in some ways like you got some responses in your back pocket that you've been offering maybe in 2 or 3 different eras over the last 25 years, Lavelle, with this team?
Yeah. I mean, you look at it that way. So many things have changed, but it's hard to get the beat writer out of you sometimes, especially when you know so many people in that organization.
Yeah.
I wasn't like some other people who have bounced around and covering like different professional teams in this league, which, may have been to my detriment, but I loved covering baseball. And there's people there from my first year on the beat still in 1998. So, and I can't help myself sometimes. If something happens, I shoot off a text to someone to see if I can get some information or an explanation of what the hell just happened,
Yeah.
So, so I have institutional knowledge of that organization. Although I will say this now, with the Falvey and Levine people moving in about 7-8 years ago, it has changed so much. It's gone from this mom and pop where I knew everybody in the organization and exactly what they did and would see them frequently. They got kids there walking around going, who in the hell is that person? Who are these people? Who's that guy? Who's that gal? They have built out their organization exponentially since Falvey's gone on board. And there's a lot of people, I don't know what the hell they do over there now. But it's all one big collaboration over there. Twins way.
Absolutely. That's Lavelle E Neal III in studio. Oh, look at that. You spend $10 billion, you get Pat McAfee on site. How about that? Nice little thing going on there. Yeah, Or are they in Indy? They're probably in Indy.
Who's buying the team, though? It's Mark Walter. Mark Walter and his wife are bankrolling the Women's Professional Hockey League. He's the reason it's called the Walter Cup.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's him.
Wow, how dumb! I had absolutely no idea. That is the financier of the PWHL.
Yep.
Wow, that's super cool. $10 billion for Lake Show. That's pretty sweet.
What a transaction. I think he's only worth like $6 or $7 billion. Although that may be going up here with that acquisition here.
When we return, we will continue, and maybe we'll talk some hoops because Game 6 of the NBA Finals is this evening in Indianapolis, and that's probably, again, where Pat McAfee is. OKC, 6-point favorites on the road against the Pacers. Sports Potpourri with Lavelle around the corner next, 9 to noon.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Are you shopping for a new laptop while still trying to keep up with technology and AI? Talk about feeling burnt out. But no more. Lenovo.com makes it easier than ever to find the perfect PC. In fact, we'll break it down for you. Step 1. Shop our lineup of AI PCs powered by Intel Core Ultra processors. Because why deal with downloading new software when you can buy a smarter PC that already comes with all of the AI features and tools? Step 2. Find the one that fits your passion. Whether you're a creative genius, a research scientist, a hardcore gamer, or a future CEO, no dream is too big. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel inside. You can keep up with your ideas as well as any challenges you may face. Step 3. Add to cart and purchase. Oh, if you're a college student or a teacher, make an education account through us and get 5% off your whole order. Shop now at Lenovo.com. A better future is waiting, and it needs you.
Hey, everybody. So when you get asked, what is Odoo, what comes to mind? Well, I'll tell you, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a suite of business management software that some people say is like fertilizer because of the way it promotes growth. But, some people also say that Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable.
Ooh. But then again, you could look at Odoo in terms of how its individual software programs are a lot like building blocks. Whatever your business needs, manufacturing, accounting, HR programs, you can build a custom software suite that's perfect for your company. So what is Odoo? Well, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. Yeah, that's it.
Which means that Odoo is exactly what every business needs. Learn more and sign up now at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
There's a moment every parent remembers. The day their child takes off on 2 wheels. With Guardian Bikes, that moment comes as early as 2 years old, and with less stress and frustration. These bikes are built just for kids. Lightweight frames, low center of gravity, easy-to-use brakes. Everything about Guardian is designed to help kids ride confidently, often in just one day, no training wheels needed. And because Guardian bikes are designed and assembled right here in the USA, they're built to last. With care in every detail. Their patented Sure Stop braking system stops both wheels with a single lever, helping your child stop safely without tripping forward or losing control. Right now, save hundreds when comparing Guardian to its competitors at GuardianBikes.com and get a free lock and pump when you join their newsletter, a $50 value. Visit GuardianBikes.com today to save and help your child learn an essential life skill safely. Guardian Bikes, built for your kid and for the memories you'll never forget.
Lavelle E Neal III in studio 9 to noon. You gonna watch this game at all tonight?
Got to. What else is going to be on? Because the Twins are coming on in 3 minutes, so they'll be done.
Yeah, that'll be done.
There's no more hockey.
Take a little siesta, ice the knee a little bit.
Because of Florida Panthers' dominance. So, what a team. You just look at the roster, and you're like, that's what the Wild need to do to get a Stanley Cup. They need to have that deep of a roster. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's so in some ways that's, with the Wild in particular, chatting with Russo about it earlier, just kind of paint, you can make a couple of moves potentially that instantly kind of vault you back into kind of the hierarchy of a muddy Western Conference. Mm-hmm. But the way he was framing up as well, and it was great. If they're able to re-sign 2 of the 3 that are kind of question marks, Sam Bennett, who just won the Conn Smythe, if they're able to bring Brad Marchand back, that sounds like it's a little dicier. Like maybe that's more of a dream than anything, but bring back Ekblad. That this team, I talk about running it back in what has traditionally been, well, not tradition. I mean, it is the most cap-strapped situation from a money standpoint among the core 4 sports. I mean, they're going to be a pain in people's sides for the next half decade.
Yeah, and even though the Cap's actually making a decent jump this year in the NHL, and I think they're scheduled to take jumps in each of the next 2 years, that they're going to get the player who's like, well, I just want to win a cup. So even though they're offering me a little more money, I'm going to come play for Florida because first of all, it's Florida, no income tax, and 2, I can win title.
Well, you should have heard. I mean, and you've spent a fair number of times beachside, huffing a Maduro, enjoying yourself beachside cabana style down in Florida during spring training for the Twins. Mm-hmm. But he's painting this picture like the Panthers. They all, they're out on the little aisles and they got these nice houses and they ride their golf carts to practice. Like, how are you going to compete with that?
I know. It's a great setup.
I mean, I love Minneapolis, St. Paul, but we ain't riding our golf carts to practice every single day in January.
Yeah, as long as it's not the Marlins, if I'm a free agent and I'm a good free agent, I will always consider the Miami team as an option. That would be the Panthers, the Heat, and even the Dolphins.
Who, you bring up the Marlins.
In Miami, too.
Is there, in Major League Baseball, so the way that I look at it, like I feel like everybody has to hate the Oakland Athletics organization, from just having to kind of, I mean, the handoff, like you could expand to Vegas and get some franchise fees, but instead the Oakland Athletics are just kind of winning this, it's not a lottery or a raffle of sorts, but they can't make a deal with Oakland, so they're just going to follow the Raiders to the 702 and get the built-in, like the transient tourist vibe for attendance, and they're going to get the fresh stadium and all of that. And ultimately the ownership equity and potentially the revenue that comes off of that. And meanwhile, teams got to go play in freaking Sacramento. And you're looking at an ownership group. You feel like, you almost want to implement like a spending floor so that the Athletics can even pretend that they care about what's going on until the team goes to Vegas. And then I think about the Marlins that you just mentioned. It's friends and family night there. I mean, it's just, does everybody hate the Athletics? Are the Marlins in a good spot? With Jeter tried his hand at executive work years ago, but nobody goes to the games.
I just think Miami has done almost irreversible damage to its fan base, and Major League Baseball also should have said something about this, because they've won 2 titles and tore the team down, I believe, after each title.
Each time, yeah.
Yes. And what signal are you sending to your fan base when stuff like that happens?
Yeah.
I think
that's so long.
I think they've crushed them.
But that's so long ago, though, now. Like the average Florida sports fan probably doesn't know who, like, Edgar Renteria is. Now they'll know who Miggy is, right? I mean, they'll know Cabrera, and they can't believe ultimately he finds his way to Detroit.
Charles Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, the names go on for miles.
Yeah, and that was the fateful
Josh Beckett. Younger years before he went to Boston.
That was the Hanley Ramirez trade.
Oh yeah,
and that was, I believe, Theo Epstein was suspended or wasn't with the Red Sox at the time the trade was made for some reason. I don't know if he was sick or was on leave or whatever, and they made that goofy trade.
I can't. It's mind boggling to me. But
just a couple years ago, they had a rotation that had Sandy Alcantara, Pablo Lopez, and Jesus Luzardo.
Yeah.
Wow.
Who was and it was a super sad story, so I'm not trying to bring it down. They had a young stud pitcher who passed away, right?
Boating accident. Drove into some rocks, I believe, or what do they call it?
Fernandez, potentially?
You're right.
Why am I'm blanking on that.
You're right. No, you're close to correct on that last name. So, see, I keep thinking Alex Fernandez, but he pitched for the White Sox and was
Jose Fernandez.
Jose Fernandez, yes.
Yeah. And he was 24.
Yeah, he was good. Had the world at his feet, man. Yeah, that was a sad, sad deal.
There was another, was it a Royals pitcher who passed away too, super young? I don't want to put somebody is it Giordano? Why am I? Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Well, I don't want to go down the morbid route of.
Orioles minor leaguer this week just passed away in a jet ski accident. Apparently, some players were out jet skiing and it was a head-on collision. And a couple of guys got thrown and one passed away.
Giordano Ventura.
Yes. He could throw 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, and there was a car accident down in the Dominican. All right, beyond that, let's move on. Let's try to bring it back to the positive. Sad news there, of course. The Marlins are a destitute franchise. The A's are just, absolutely sucking off the...
So what did Russo say about getting a center? I wasn't listening.
It's going to be slim pickings. Duchesne just re-signed with Dallas, and he's worried about the quality of the market as it exists And that, as of right now, he's not hearing great things in terms of a ton of opportunity.
John Tavares wants to stay where he's at, it sounds like.
But the thing is, though, is that teams want a center. Teams are watching the Panthers do what they did.
Yep.
We want to do what the Panthers did. But the problem is if I'm trading a center, well, I want a center in return. Specifically, if you're talking about trading Rossi, I want to upgrade that position. But teams, it might have to be a two-piece play where you're trading potentially a Rossi for a winger, potentially a pick associated with that then as well. And then you got to make a secondary move to jump back into a center.
This is all headed down the road of running it back with Rossi.
It is going down that road.
Yeah.
But then it's going to go down the road of, it's not, you hope that you find better this summer maybe than like a Yakov Trenin. But it is going to be probably those types of moves, and it's going to be the preaching of patience to the fan base again, that this market a year from now will be better. We're going to be in this position to do better. Oh, you won't believe what you're going to see from Yurov as he comes over from Russia. So it does feel a little bit like you might be setting up for some sort of underwhelming period here.
They could mitigate that somewhat by signing Brock Besser.
Okay.
I'm all for a Brock Besser returning home bit.
Well, you see, now you're getting back into beat writer guy again. You just want to write the cool stories about it.
What's wrong with that?
No, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I think now what I'm curious about with Brock and those that are more in tune than I am is, did Brock have kind of a down year this year because he probably should have left Vancouver 18 months ago? Or is there something I'm missing in terms of his production? And how much ultimately will that cost? That's where I'm at with him. I'm not against having Besser back. Besser's a good player.
And I've heard, and then it's not from a high level source though. So I mean, take it for what it's worth. But I heard that he's willing to come home. So
we'll take it.
Yep.
Okay, I like that. Who you got tonight? OKC or the Pacers?
Well, Halliburton's hobbled.
Hobbled Halliburton.
Yeah. How could a hobbled Halliburton help the Pacers?
Oh, by the way, if you're writing a column on the Indiana Pacers, I've seen floating around on social media, they've been calling, because he hits all these game-winning shots, that Halliburton's nickname is Halliban.
Really?
That's ridiculous, right?
That's horrible.
You wouldn't use that Star Tribune, StarTribune.com. You would not refer to him as Halliban in a piece, would you?
No, not at all.
We got to find out if he's playing tonight, though.
Even if he's playing, it's not going to be 100%.
I know.
How much of a percentage he's going to be?
So OKC's favored by 6. I feel like they'd be favored by 6 whether Halliburton was playing or not. Don't you?
I like OKC's chances of ending the NBA season today.
Yeah, I think they will. You got to have magic from Siakam, and you need something. I mean, Halliburton was hideous.
Mathurin's got to score 40 off the bench.
He might. He was the third leading scorer this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult one this evening. I'm so impressed with that core that they built with Holmgren and, the SGA coming via trade. But, just kind of in this time of the year, you're always left talking about, I asked Russo about it. And in the NHL, it kind of makes sense, specifically when you think about the growth arc of players. If you don't acquire a Connor McDavid type with the first overall pick in the draft, you find yourself doing a lot of work in the summertime, right? Free agents, and you're bringing in seasoning, you're bringing in veteran presence. And when you get the right mix, it totally works. But more so in the NBA, definitely in the NFL, the organic, the GMs that are finding these guys in the draft and finding these guys young and early, that's leading to the fruits of said labor. And so from a Wolves standpoint, you got the Durant dilemma, stuff like that. But then you're looking at OKC. They got first round picks falling out of their pocket every step they take. And they got this young core that doesn't look like it's going away.
We need a breaking news sounder.
Ooh, do we have a breaking news sounder? Brett Blakemore.
He's put me on the spot here. Hang on.
Okay. I mean, it's fine. Okay, there we go.
Dateline Cincinnati, Byron Buxton leadoff homer. Twins lead 1-0.
There we go.
Another
Is that 4 straight?
Yeah, 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5 with a home run. Another leadoff.
3 straight and 4 out of 5. Yep.
Hey, Chris Paddock, Minnesota Twins. What else does Byron need to do for you? He's spotting you a run every single game. Please get the victory today down in Cincy on the getaway game. They're hosting the Brewers, I believe, next up.
Yeah, I actually have to fill in both our beat writers are, funny you bring that up, both our beat writers are out of pocket tomorrow, so I'm actually filling in as the beat writer for the Twins Brewers game tomorrow night.
Well, make sure to wear your name tag, as you mentioned. There's a lot of people there you don't know, and they need to know that the made man is on campus at Target Field. Thanks for hanging out with me, Lavelle. I appreciate it. Read this piece on Sabato. Read all of Lavelle's work, StarTribune.com. You can follow him on X, Lavelle Neal, via X. It's always good to see you. Ice that knee, all right? And we'll see you hopefully maybe even next week. That's Lavelle Neal. Final segment, 9 to noon is next.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold! Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Unlock smarter learning with Lenovo AI-powered PCs powered by Intel Core Ultra processors. Head to Lenovo.com and choose from multiple devices to fit your passions. If you're a gamer, you can spend less time stressing about GPUs and CPUs and more time dominating with your AI-enabled Smart Engine, which optimizes your game performance in real time. Or maybe you're a scientist on the verge of a groundbreaking discovery and need a device with a longer battery life and AI-enhanced tools to give you extra time to finish your research. Or you're a musician preparing for your biggest break and need better, faster AI tools to make digital art a breeze, like creating band posters and t-shirt designs. Or you're a soon-to-be graduate needing to catch a recruiter's eye to land that dream job, so you need cutting-edge smart tools to build your portfolio from scratch. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel inside. Plus, college students and teachers get 5% off with an education account on Lenovo.com. A better future is waiting, and it needs you.
Hey, everybody. So when you get asked, what is Odoo, what comes to mind? Well, I'll tell you, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a suite of business management software that some people say is like fertilizer because of the way it promotes growth. But, some people also say that Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable.
Ooh. But then again, you could look at Odoo in terms of how its individual software programs are a lot like building blocks. Whatever your business needs, manufacturing, accounting, HR programs, you can build a custom software suite that's perfect for your company. So what is Odoo? Well, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. Yeah, that's it.
Which means that Odoo is exactly what every business needs. Learn more and sign up now at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
There's a moment every parent remembers. The day their child takes off on 2 wheels. With Guardian Bikes, that moment comes as early as 2 years old, and with less stress and frustration. These bikes are built just for kids. Lightweight frames, low center of gravity, easy-to-use brakes. Everything about Guardian is designed to help kids ride confidently, often in just one day, no training wheels needed. And because Guardian bikes are designed and assembled right here in the USA, they're built to last. With care in every detail. Their patented Sure Stop braking system stops both wheels with a single lever, helping your child stop safely without tripping forward or losing control. Right now, save hundreds when comparing Guardian to its competitors at GuardianBikes.com and get a free lock and pump when you join their newsletter, a $50 value. Visit GuardianBikes.com today to save and help your child learn an essential life skill safely. Guardian Bikes, built for your kid and for the memories you'll never forget.
Next. Thank you to Lavelle, Lieber, and Russo. Thank you for listening 9 to noon. Thank you, Brett, as always. Tomorrow, Brett and I are back, and it'll be a Friday feast featuring Chad Greenway. Hoping to hear from some football-centric guests. We might have Pete Bursich checking in, find out where he's at with his YouTube channel, and Alec Lewis of The Athletic. He's going to be in studio as well. Thanks again. Have an awesome Thursday afternoon. The program is next here on The Fan.
Podcast today's Paul Allen Show, or listen back to previous show and interviews by going to the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.
Are you still quoting 30-year-old movies? Have you said cool beans in the past 90 days? Do you think Discover isn't widely accepted? If this sounds like you, you're stuck in the past. Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. And every time you make a purchase with your card, you automatically earn cash back. Welcome to the now. It pays to Discover. Learn more at discover.com/creditcard, based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Hi, I'm Danielle Fishel from Pod Meets World. So for my two boys, I got Samsung Galaxy Watch for Kids. And I'm not saying I'm kind of jealous of my kids' tech. I'm saying I am definitely jealous of my child's tech. This thing lets them call, text, and explore all from their wrist. No smartphone required. And don't worry, you're still the boss. You control who they can talk to, and yes, you can totally stalk their location in real time. Get Galaxy Watch 7 on T-Mobile, now kid-ready with a new paired line. Visit T-Mobile.com to order yours today. Parent and child must have a Samsung account and Google account with Family Link. Requires initial pairing with a compatible Samsung smartphone and qualifying wireless plan with LTE service activated. Please check with your carrier for more information. Trusted contact applies to compatible apps. It does not restrict communication through third-party or other communication apps. Emergency services and contacts remain accessible. Location sharing is dependent on network connectivity and device being recently active. T-Mobile terms via 24 monthly bill credits when you add a qualifying paired watch line. See additional offer terms on T-Mobile.com.
It's summer. Time to enjoy long days, lazy nights, and great food. Because Uber Eats has deals all summer long. So, when hunger strikes, don't sweat it. Delicious deals are just a tap away on Uber Eats. Enjoy all your favorite grocery items delivered straight to you. Get ice cream, soda, and snacks from your favorite stores like Wegmans and CVS and make the most of every moment. Now that sounds like a good summer. Order now on Uber Eats. Terms apply. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
Does Friendly have a taste? If it does, it's probably like Hello's peppermint-flavored anti-plaque and whitening toothpaste. Brush away plaque, show tartar who's boss, and remove surface stains to naturally whiten. Hello's thoughtful and flavor-forward products make brushing your teeth feel like a confetti-filled bathroom dance party. So say hello to Hello with the always cruelty-free, never tested on animals toothpaste that's made to spread smiles. Visit HelloProducts.com and let Hello add some everyday yay into your life.